Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today is August 20th, and we're doing not government, business and social.
Well, the first story is their bridge story.
Yeah.
Well, I'm losing links when I'm organizing these. I got to find a better solution. But
I'm losing links IRL.
Yeah.
That's all going away.
That's true. Yeah. It could just be my mental faculties. I could be having those little, they say that you're not actually conscious the entire day.
Yeah.
You cruise through certain parts. Maybe I'm cruising more than usual. But this was a big one that we left out of government.
Nvidia and AMD reach a deal to give the U.S. a cut of China's AI chip sales, 15%. This is a Bloomberg headline. This is actually really complicated because in the U.S. Constitution, outgoing tariffs are not permitted. This was a thing when the union was organized, and AMD and Nvidia are like, look, just stop playing games, please, for the love of God. Just let us sell.
We're so tired.
Stuff. Like, we'll give you 15%. Like, come on, because the profit margin is insane. And so, apparently the White House is like, yeah, sure, that sounds good, but they're trying to figure out how to actually do it in law.
Seems like maybe you figure that out before you make the announcement.
No, I think this is brilliant because in 3 or 4 years, there's going to be a regime change. Well, maybe not. And
At the rate we're speed running, we'll see.
And then these companies will be like, hey, that wasn't actually constitutional. Give us the money back. And then they'll probably get the money back. So, I mean, it's like they're probably not going to earn interest on it in the interim time, but that seems like a brilliant solution to the problem. It's just like, yeah, sure, we'll give you some money. And then, by the time it makes it through the court system, it's like, oops, no, we can't do that. Give us our money back.
Well, chips are the major point of contention among all the countries right now because there's so much money and power to be had in controlling AI. People will do anything to get it.
Taiwan detains TSMC staff for alleged theft of key technology trade secrets. And when you dig into it, the evidence is pretty strong looking.
Yeah. Probably going to be a bad time for those people. Although they probably got paid a lot to hand those out. And we're in you can say the dog days of summer. Although, isn't the dog days when they have to sleep in your bed to keep you warm? No, that's 3 dog night. I don't know why we say dog days of summer. But it's hot and it's miserable. And I don't have a working central air in my house. But my thermostat still does work, which is more than can be said for some of you who adopted this stupidity.
Nest announces the end of support for first and second generation thermostats. Now, they've been careful to make sure that the thermostats will continue to be functional locally, but the cloud connection, software updates, being able to do stuff with them, forget about it. You're not worth it as a customer.
Now, you want to upgrade that? That's going to cost you about $400. But good news, if you trade in your old one, they're going to cut you 50% off, only going to cost you $200. For that thing that you have that still works perfectly well.
Might I take this moment to plug Home Assistant? I have stuff that is on my Home Assistant network that is so badly out of date that, like, when you try to use a web browser to manage it, web browsers no longer, the device, it sends the incorrect MIME types. And so you can't actually use a normal browser to manipulate the device anymore. And Home Assistant doesn't care. Home Assistant still works fine with those devices, and it's completely okay.
My previous thermostat before I got the other one 2 years ago was at that point probably 25 years old. Why would you replace that how long had that one? It's been 4 years?
Yeah. Not even. Yeah. And after we just had the story about how people need to conserve water and need to save the planet, right, yeah. But it's like these tech companies can just do this and it's fine.
Some of those first generation smart fridges from Samsung, they're still on Android 2.0.
It's absurd.
Just get a dumb fridge.
Yeah.
And we are living in the age where you have to worry about data centers moving in next to you, especially if you're in the middle of nowhere, because that's where they like to go. They like to find big empty spots and get in there and just suck up all the water. Now, this was Amazon, but that was a secret. That was accidentally leaked, and that might have been their downfall.
Residents cheer as Tucson rejects Amazon's massive Project Blue data center campus in Arizona. The city planners said they were disappointed in Amazon's decision, but the residents were like, yes, this is probably not, this is probably in our best interest for this not to be here.
Tucson is always in a water crisis, always. And when the residents found out that Beale Infrastructure and Blue Development or whatever was actually Amazon. Again, they accidentally released a record somewhere in the court filings. They didn't mean to do that. And they're like, oh, no, not in my backyard. Even though they don't even have yards, they just have sand pits because there's no water.
Sand pits, vipers, scorpions.
Yeah. And we've seen this kind of behavior before from companies like Tesla and BMW, but it feels like it's going to be everywhere soon.
Forget Netflix. Volkswagen is locking horsepower behind paid subscription. Everybody remember Dieselgate? Nobody should forget Dieselgate.
Isn't this the second time they've tried this? I feel like we've had a couple stories about them doing this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Volkswagen, but we've seen this before a lot.
Yeah.
So this is going to be like $16 a month, which is pretty steep for something like 27 more horsepower.
I might have been thinking of Mercedes. Either way, still crazy.
Now,
But they never did performance. Now Tesla did, because remember you can unlock the thing, but then there was some argument about like, what happens when I sell the car? And the answer was it goes away. In this case, it's married to the car, not the owner.
but you lose the horsepower if you stop paying.
But you can do a lifetime car unlock. I think it's like $600 maybe.
Which is probably, again, your lifetime, or, not your lifetime, but whatever clause they've put in that contract.
Who knows?
In this contract, lifetime means 6 months.
You think the average driver is even going to feel 27 horsepower? Maybe because I don't think that's a very high performance car. Maybe they would. But it's disgusting.
The thing that this is, like, I don't like it. It's terrible. But people unlocking the horsepower without paying the subscription, the companies are going to complain and people are going to be asleep at the helm. And then pretty soon it's going to be illegal to take a car that you own and modify it in such a way as to unlock the horsepower.
It already is. That's EPA.
Yeah, that is horrifying.
Yeah. That actually, they just undid one of those, which is, you know how they have the diesel additive that cleans it? Those cars, if it ran out of that additive, would go into limp mode. And Trump just undid that. It's like you can actually drive it without that, which means everybody will now. I can't show you the headline on this one because New York Times is so aggressive with their paywall. But this is, there's no new information here. This is something that's coming to all our futures.
The headline is Big Tech's AI data centers are driving up the cost of electricity for everybody. And a headline that surprised literally no one. And everybody, I mean, we've commented on this before. You guys have commented in the comments. You guys didn't call out the fact that the demand for electricity has gone up, driving up electricity prices. And it's like, well, I thought that was a foregone conclusion.
Now, I did learn something in
It's
this
like
article.
the sky is blue and water is wet.
Yeah, so obvious. What I did not know is that we have laws to prevent monopoly that says that the operators of the grid can't own power stations. Those have to be separate.
But Texas.
So that might play into the hands of big tech because they can build their own power stations and not deal with the grid. And then the grid operators can't really compete with that.
That was a part of what was happening, I think, around Oak Ridge, and why some of the real estate in the Oak Ridge nuclear facility was so valuable. But I thought in Texas that they're basically flouting that, or that it's not actually that way in Texas, which is a large part of what Texas's problems are. But California is also the electricity cost is so expensive in California. I can't imagine that there isn't some law that is being violated there, because it is not profit. It is holding people hostage.
Is anyone happy with their electric company? Like, I'm certainly not happy with mine, but...
Well, you had the whole Enron situation, which brought a lot of that to light. But I don't think a lot of it got fixed after that, which is perhaps terrifying. And, our utilities that we want to come to our house are completely, controlled by this bureaucracy and ruined. And there's no better indicator than our internet service, which if you're lucky enough to have fiber infrastructure, you probably covet. And if you don't have it, you want it, but you might never get it.
Starlink tries to block Virginia's plan to bring fiber internet to residents.
Oh, who could have foreseen this happening?
I mean, at a surface level, it's like, oh, this is ridiculous and insane. But, we actually know a lot about the goings-on in Virginia, and, it is actually kind of complicated. So you have really terrible ISPs that have behaved completely sociopathically, like Frontier. Frontier's taken all kinds of federal money to expand their infrastructure, and they haven't. And that's true of a lot of ISPs. But there are some projects in Virginia that have experienced that level of corruption and truancy from those companies. And they're building like municipal fiber networks. And the fiber networks don't provide internet access. They just provide fiber optic infrastructure. And then the municipality entertains bids from companies. It's like, you can be the ISP. Here's our fiber network. We will maintain the fiber network. The taxpayers, collect money and they maintain the fiber network. But you guys compete and bid on access to the fiber network in order to sell service to these customers. And that's actually a good thing. Like that is probably the fairest and best way to handle that. But these companies will vent their spleen trying to stop that because it is very, very effective and it is very long-term, durable infrastructure and very sustainable.
I say, well, Starlink doesn't want to have to compete against anybody because in a lot of those rural areas, there's no other option but Starlink.
Well, this is all about, it's not even about competition. It's about federal money, right? So the Biden rule, the FCC thing they did right before at the end of his term said, no, we want fiber. If you take this money, we want fiber for it. Trump has undone that. And so now it's just like, well, build infrastructure and we'll give you the money. And so Musk wants to get that money.
It's not even build infrastructure. It is service these houses. If you can give internet access to these houses, then we'll give you money. And Starlink can actually do that. And I kind of feel bad for Starlink because some of these companies like Frontier have already taken federal money in exchange for the promise of building infrastructure, but they really haven't. And so, like, that is and also
Starlink
a crime.
Won't either. So,
Starlink is not building anything.
Yeah, but they will give them internet service.
Yes, so
as long as it's not
for a very
raining.
high price. Yeah.
And like this is amazing though, because this Virginia thing is like a microcosm of like the kinds of things that are making us dysfunctional as a society. It's like the goal here should be like the people in Virginia that are doing the municipal fiber network, like a bunch of people like us can get together and be like, we can get federal money and we can deploy fiber optics. This will be great. You should absolutely do that. But if it's an ISP that's just going to take money and not do anything, as has happened not just in Virginia, in a lot of places, then yeah, they should get federal money. That's just idiocy. That's just taxpayers losing money and getting nothing in return.
And if all that's just too depressing for you, just go into your basement and buy one of these giant, beautiful TVs and lose yourself in modern media. Try to forget all of it.
Samsung has launched its first Micro RGB TV with improved color accuracy. 115-inch TV in South Korea for $32,000.
You can watch this program in extremely high def.
You might think 32 grand seems a little steep for that, but the current 115-inch model, $80,000. So this is much cheaper and performs better, they claim.
I think probably in the next 5 or 10 years, we're going to see like roll-up TVs. So you can get a 115-inch TV delivered to your house in tube form.
And you're also going to need to upgrade before the end of the year, don't forget, to your Copilot PC. Hey, and there's a weird name that's benefiting from that.
Lenovo's PC business surges to 15-quarter high with AI models leading the charge.
For whatever reason, everybody wants a Lenovo Copilot PC. Why? I don't know. But they're selling them. Sell them like gangbusters. A lot of laptops. They've estimated that if you stacked the laptops that will be invalidated by Windows 10 and don't have the hardware to go to 11, it would be taller than the moon.
They'll run Linux just fine. But may I introduce Linux?
And, we might get those screens, and we might get them right around the time. We don't need them anymore because we're not going to need your eyes at all.
OpenAI co-founder Sam Altman to take on Neuralink with new startup. It's like, oh, yes, we're going to do
because he doesn't have enough to do.
High bandwidth interface to the brain.
Well, actually, he's not going to do anything. He's going to co-found but not take any sort of operational role in the company. But yeah, he thinks that this will be what they're referring to as the merge. It's called Merge Labs.
Singularity.
Yeah, we're merging into human computer. God help us being in there with those AI models.
With these guys.
I would not trust them. And in Korea, they all maybe are... The digital nomad thing might have caught on a little too much. And as usual, people just took it a little too far.
No printers or PCs. Starbucks Korea tells customers, it's like, if you show up to Starbucks and you've got a desktop computer you're going to plug in and just camp out all day, that is not okay. Because apparently up till now it was okay.
Bringing a printer is so hilarious.
Do they not have libraries in Korea?
Probably not as nice. Can't order a nice, delicious drink. And pour one out. I was shocked to find out this is still going, although I do know people who still have these email addresses. But that is actually not going away. You can still keep your AOL email address if you want. You just have to find a new way to get to it.
The end of an E-era. AOL is going to end their dial-up internet access.
This will be September, end of September.
America Online.
Who's still using dial-up?
They claim that they have
Customer.
not enough customers for them to keep doing it, but there are customers. And you got to think that, well, you know what? Maybe those people in Virginia.
Probably people somewhere deep in the hills of eastern Kentucky still using AOL.
We have literally no other option.
That's definitely going to be some Starlink customers.
Yeah, actually, I mean, for everybody that I know that is living that rule, Starlink, like they have no end of good things to say about Starlink.
Well, I mean, how could it be worse than dial-up?
So my neighbors, some of them have Starlink because the internet doesn't run out to the end of our road. And they do praise the connection. They do not praise the price. The price goes up a lot.
Well, Elon Musk's other business venture launched another business venture, and this was touted to be, a really revolutionary thing. It was going to be the future of how we all deal with the gas station, because there's not going to be any gas. You're going to charge up your vehicle here. You're going to have a great time. And it's maybe has not taken off like they expected.
Tesla Diner drops most menu options and cuts hours just weeks after opening, surprising no one. You don't have to rub it in, Japalink.
Yeah.
Jalopnik.
Logan Carter at Jalopnik did not hide his bias in this story. He mentioned a couple of ways about it's like, don't give your money to billionaires, which is fair. But yeah, we're down to 9 menu items.
That looks so sad when I could go to a Waffle House and have it prepared for me by someone smoking a cigarette.
He pointed out that there was a popular burger joint down the street, and everything in and out. So he was like, yeah, you could plug in your car
and go, yeah,
walk to in and out. Everything's cheaper and better. It's a weird menu.
I was looking for a mention of the robotic wait staff, but
yeah, it's like a diner, but like it doesn't look. It's like too sterile to be a diner.
No one seems to like it.
Yeah.
And we're still waiting to find out what's going to happen with Google and their whole antitrust ruling.
Oh no!
Of course. Of course, the spammers. We don't know yet. But one of the things about it is like, well, if they have to sell Chrome, who are they going to sell it to? That was kind of one of their arguments. That's no longer an argument.
Perplexity makes its long-shot $34.5 billion offer for Chrome. Yes, an AI engine built into your web browser looking at absolutely everything that you do. What could possibly go wrong?
Automatically updated to the number one browser that most people are not even going to think about. They're just going to keep using.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people have pointed out Perplexity, not worth $30.45 billion, only worth about 18, and that's if they sold everything. But they say no, they've got the venture capital waiting. They can definitely do this.
I mean, that is kind of a power move. Like, honestly, $34.5 billion for that kind of market penetration on the browser, like, that doesn't seem like a bad deal because Google really is exploiting Chrome's position to make a lot more money than that currently.
But Perplexity is going to exploit it just as bad or worse, and it's going to exploit the users.
Probably worse.
Just as bad or worse. Which is crazy to think. Yeah, worse than Google.
That takes it out.
Google will sell it just out of spite. It's like, what make you remember? It'll be like the AT&T thing where it's like, yes, AT&T was an evil global multinational, but then when they were broken up, it was a dysfunctional evil global. It was a collection of dysfunctional global evil multinationals.
Now we're entering into a phase, well, I think it's very dangerous here because, and you just have to look at politics, right? Because we're already here with politics. Politics is now a sports team that you support. And you'll do mental gymnastics to whatever they do that's stupid, if it's your team, you'll defend it and you'll go after the other team.
What if it's all stupid?
It doesn't matter. You've chosen a team and you will defend it. And I'm seeing that in the AI space, and that is going to be very, very terrifyingly dangerous. We cannot do that.
Corporate overlord, brand loyalty.
Musk threatens quote-unquote immediate legal action against Apple over alleged antitrust violations. He's a little upset that XAI isn't doing really well. He forgets that DeepSeek was number 1 on the App Store for like 3 months at the beginning of 2025. Okay.
He's arguing that ChatGPT is always number 1.
Except for at the beginning of the year.
But if you remember, Apple has some business with ChatGPT, so he's feeling that's a little incestuous. But also, he claims that even though Grok is way up there, it's like number 5 or something, Apple never puts it on the recommended lists. So he feels like he's getting unfair treatment.
Maybe he needs to get good. Also, the funniness of someone who's a billionaire being like, I've had unfair treatment. And I'm like,
I'm a marginalized individual. He's an African American.
Technically.
And we have, of course, we're getting everybody forced into Windows 11 and everybody hates it. But what's going to come after that? Well, apparently the most terrifying, horrible thing that you can ever imagine.
Microsoft's vision for the next version of Windows is an all-seeing, voice-controlled chatbot that gives you productivity, quote-unquote, superpowers. This from the team that brought us the Start menu, as dysfunctional and counterproductive as it is. I'm not seeing it.
And the Windows settings that sometimes just don't work. Like you just click on them and nothing happens. And it's like, command line? No. We're going to have 12 layers of abstraction. You're never going to see what happens inside. Just sit there. And he mentioned the word flow, which feels like vibe.
Yeah.
That's vibe computing. That's just sitting back, letting the computer do whatever it wants, and asking it vague questions.
It really does feel like in a couple generations, it's like if we continue on this trajectory, that people are going to be treating it like a religion where it's just completely unquestioned. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, we're already seeing that with AI.
The AI Oracle told me this, and I don't know how to troubleshoot it or figure it out, so it must be right.
We really should do a special episode of Links with Friends about AI psychosis and like all of the dimensions of AI psychosis, because like the AI boyfriend stories that we
There's
covered.
so many. There's multiple subreddits, which is very weird.
Yeah, I mean, just and like the vibe coding thing and like the anointing the machine, say the machine prayer.
What's crazy about that is that the advertising industry has perfected. Tell people what they want, make them feel good, and AI has just taken that and weaponized it.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And it's so effective. Our brains are not well equipped. And if you think you're immune to it, don't think that, because you will make yourself open to it by doing that.
Just don't use it.
You must recognize, well, I mean, you could use it, but you got to recognize that it's your enemy.
Yeah.
And I hesitate to even mention this, but there's somebody I know, and their oldest kid is like 12, and they used AI to structure how their 12-year-old does chores. And so it's like, it's Saturday, Billy. Today you need to get up and you're going to help like mop the downstairs, run the vacuum, take the trash out, and do the thing, and then you can go do the other thing. And it's like the AI is like sending emails and like doing the management, and apparently there is much less friction in the household. And it's like, oh yeah, thanks mom, help me stay on task. And it's just like, okay, this is it's something ain't right there.
You know what might be good for the formative years of a child? Friction.
Learning how to manage yourself and developing discipline.
Because your whole life is not going to run like that. You're going to have
you put all your stuff into the AI, and the AI runs it, and you pay that subscription fee.
How are you going to pay it when you're unemployed?
It's like, did you remember to do everything? Oh, I forgot to get the trash in the bathroom. Thanks, AI. And it's like,
you're the best, Timmy.
It's like, what's happening here? What is going on?
Well, yes, Microsoft is forcing us all into Windows 11. We're 2 months away from that, and some people are feeling the crisis.
Microsoft has been sued for discontinuing Windows 10 support. They feel like it's forced obsolescence. They think it's anti-competitive. I don't think they're going to win, but we'll see.
I think that too.
Was that thunder, or was that a car?
That was thunder.
That was.
Oh.
It's thunder because the humidity has gotten so
unbearable
bad that we are literally in a cloud.
My hair is just getting bigger and bigger by the second.
And we learned last week that was it JP Morgan
Yep.
has decided that too many people are querying its data and it's costing them a lot of money, and they're now going to put that behind a paywall, and some people are crying foul.
FinTech leaders asked Trump to block banks' account access fees. So this is when somebody tries to use, their app or their AI or whatever to integrate with their bank, and the bank is like, whoa, we're getting a lot of electronic requests through the API. We don't actually want to have infrastructure. We don't want people to actually use those features of their bank account. So we want to build people that build apps that interface with this.
Feels a little ironic. I was like, oh, you don't want people stealing your data? Really?
Oh, does that hurt your feelings?
Yeah, you don't
does
like
that suck?
Gosh, can't imagine when you've caused that problem. And this one was updated, and it seems like maybe this accusation was false, but it doesn't change the way I feel about adding AI to the programs that I have to use.
Mozilla under fire for Firefox AI quote-unquote bloat that blows up CPU and drains battery. It turns out that it was probably a coding error, but Mozilla has added features to Firefox to try to assist people with, writing?
It was tab management.
Or tab management?
Yeah. The AI, if you have a ton of tabs, AI would step in and try to manage
Organize them.
Yeah. Who wants that?
Nobody. Because then I can't find what I was looking at.
You destroy my mental map of my tabs.
Yeah.
And people are going broke. We're seeing that everywhere. And when you go broke, there are certain things that you simply won't pay for. And that's a bad time for some of the companies out there.
The Guardian's headline is "Can't Pay, Won't Pay. Impoverished streaming services are driving viewers back to piracy." I think they get it wrong a little bit. This article's like, I remember when I was a pirate. I'm a pirate again. But the services people pay for are also getting ads. There's as many or more ads as there were from the previous services people left.
And it's just nuts that you have to pay for 20 different ones to watch the shows you want to watch.
Well, that's what they pointed out here. I don't remember what this show was.
Well, they couldn't, there was no streaming service that had the show they wanted to watch. They could only buy it. And they pointed out that when they buy it, it's Amazon's movie library, and there have been several instances where movies disappear from the movie library. It's like you're not really buying it.
They can't take it from my DVD shelf.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Medici.
what I buy on DVD.
Or Medici.
Medici. I've always heard Medici.
Yeah,
I actually don't know.
This person wanted to, Gabrielle Rindelborg, wanted to watch this on a plane, and literally no streaming service. You cannot get it. You just have to buy it digitally, which is not really buying it, obviously. So why not? Why not put it on the Magic Hard Drive?
I mean, I own the box sets of Star Trek The Next Generation, but it was really convenient to watch it on Netflix. Guess what you can't do anymore?
Or you can pay for it by season. It's I'm not doing that.
And I'm definitely feeling the breakdown of my attention span. And I don't like that. But it's happening. I haven't gotten to this point yet, but I know that a lot of people do this.
What's your preferred playback speed? 1x, 1.5x, or 2x? Turns out a lot of people, especially younger people, are regularly consuming video content at 2x. Not just YouTube content, but also streaming services.
I had a client who had video content, and one of the feature requests they had was, can we add a way to speed up videos because some users requested it. And I was like, wow.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
There are a lot of videos out there that are very low information density.
What I miss is written content. If I need to figure out how to do something, I much prefer a tutorial that's written so I can skip to the part where I got stuck.
There's no money in that because everybody steals it from you.
Google results will always push videos first. Now it's AI, then video.
Yeah.
Then
and
maybe
I'm
text.
I'm looking for a text because I know 90% of the steps I need to do. I just need to figure out this last part.
You know the sad answer to that is you ask AI, and AI goes and finds the text and reprints it for you.
Yeah.
No, that's not the answer you want to hear. And people are maybe, with their entertainment choices, they're looking for something a little less engaging. All the new, with the Battlefield game that just came out is apparently very sweaty, and it needs to take over your computer in order to function. And some people are opting for way less.
Millions are flocking to growing virtual gardens in viral Roblox game created by a teenager.
I mean, Stardew Valley exists.
Yeah, this isn't anything
Check that
new.
out. Plus, you got Roblox's subscription.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You can garden in Minecraft. There are mods for that if you really want to get crazy.
Is it still the case that you can do a lot of crazy like chore type stuff in Roblox and earn Robux that way, so that you don't actually have to subscribe with money?
I doubt it. Not in something like this, because this was a user created thing, right? And if they let you farm points with user created stuff, that would be taken advantage of, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
And Palantir, that's a name we hear a lot, and some people seem to be confused about exactly what they're doing. Oh my God, my phone's going crazy. But
Palantir would like for you to not talk about it, so it's currently flooding the craziness with the craziness, and so it's just like, woo!
What does Palantir actually do? None of those, but that's not necessarily, like, if you look at, like, websites for any kind of, like, DC outfit, there's never going to be, like, an exact, like, description of what they do.
One thing we know that they do is target Palestinians. Like, that's been confirmed.
Also, in the Louisiana, the southernmost city in Louisiana. Oh, I just forgot it.
New Orleans?
New Orleans, yeah. 2018. We'll talk about that too.
So,
this article missed that. That was obvious.
But I think this was a fluff piece.
Yeah.
I think Palantir paid for this.
Yeah. Palantir is often called a data broker, a data miner, a giant database of information. It's none of these, but it's even its former employees who struggle to define it. Just to give you an idea of how hideously evil Palantir works and why I think this probably is a propaganda piece, you should look into what Palantir did in New Orleans in 2018. And the people that run the city had no idea that they had access to the city database in New Orleans. And the dude that was the mayor of New Orleans is now operating at the federal level under this administration, and he's the dude in charge of infrastructure. When it was a bit of a scandal when it came out in New Orleans.
And yet they just keep failing upward.
Yeah, because it was like, well, all these people, all their database, all their stuff was uploaded, and we didn't talk about that, and like it wasn't on the city council or anything like that. That's kind of a problem.
Now the short answer, was never answered shortly. That's the whole, however how many words, but basically what Palantir does is it takes the whole web of data and everything that your company has, and it makes it simple for your C-suite to understand it, where they previously could not. And then it does a lot of horrible stuff under the hood. My favorite part about this article.
Oh, paywall. You've read your last free article.
Man, that sucks, because I really wanted that quote. But my favorite part about this article is that, you guys know there was an update to this article? There was a correction that we've had here at the desk. Because obviously the name is Palantir. And there's a certain class of person who cannot tolerate factual misinformation when it comes to a certain topic. And they were apparently flooded with emails explaining that they got wrong what the Palantir actually did.
I promise that wasn't me.
So many emails that they put a retraction in the paper.
Listen, people who really like Tolkien's writing were nothing if not pedants.
And quick to action.
Yeah.
And Battlefield 6, it's out there. Apparently people are loving it. And if you want to be a part of it, well, by the time you see this, it's over. But there's a beta going on right now. Unfortunately, because it wants to be so deep inside your computer, you're going to have to make some concessions.
Battlefield 6 open beta says it won't run if you have Valorant also running, thanks to Riot's anti-cheat. So you got to shut down Vanguard if you plan to join the second open beta this weekend. And there apparently has been an update for that. I couldn't get this running as a virtual machine either, and that's they
never will.
Yeah, I can run Fortnite as a virtual machine, but I don't want to explain how because they'll probably fix it. But it did not work for Battlefield.
And Roblox, they're seeing that big the farm craze, I guess, going on, getting a lot of new users, but they still have some of the problems that they've always had, which are very, very disturbing problems. And it seems to happen anytime there's a lot of kids that congregate on an online space. And there was one man who decided that he wanted to do something about it. He's no longer being allowed to do that.
Roblox bans and threatens to sue predator hunter, quote unquote, YouTuber Schlep. And also Chris Hansen is getting involved, and this guy has all the receipts, and this is not the end of this drama. And Roblox has apparently never heard of the Streisand effect.
Interestingly enough, Roblox is not saying, hey, that doesn't happen here. They kicked him for technicalities. They kicked him for vigilantism and son of a broad, but also you're not allowed to try and take conversations off of the platform, which is interestingly what often happens in the things that he's looking for. But he pulled these guys into Discord in order to record them and get the evidence. They also said that he was doxing, and he said, the only doxing I did was to the police. I never released their information except to law enforcement.
Also, he's posted a bunch of messages from like 12 and 13-year-olds that were like, hey, the person that was grooming me arrested me, and thank you for helping me understand that was grooming. And it's like, if that's real, that's insane. And that's probably why like Roblox is behaving, badly here, is because that could be a lot of drama for them and very bad for business, as it probably should be.
And vigilantism is problematic. I mean, the problem with it is it feeds itself, and he's turned it into a career. So now it's like, well, what
he has
happens?
an incentive, yeah.
Right. But if you're wondering what his motivation was, apparently he was groomed.
Yeah.
So that's maybe coming from a good place. I don't know. I've not really followed that closely. Because I don't get into those kinds of things, and I don't use social media other than YouTube and like one tweet a year. But I know how bad it is, and I believe everything about this.
Study. Social media probably can't be fixed. Yes, you should definitely read this. If you're like, I don't know that, social media can't be fixed. I think the one thing that saves me is that I'm contrarian enough. Probably could be even more contrarian, but contrarianism seems like a worthwhile trait in the modern world.
So there's a little questionable how they did this, though. They basically used AI to simulate and like try to recognize where it goes wrong. And the answer they come up with was when humans are involved.
Oh, no. This is the plot of The Matrix.
Well, I mean, it wasn't saying that the robots should be doing it. It was just saying like, human personalities and inclinations, when given this kind of platform, are always going to end up this way. You're going to have like, the worst 1% is going to float to the top, and they're going to control everything, and they're kind of like our government.
Makes a lot of sense in that context. Because who would want to govern the people?
And who would want to use the web these days? Because there's very few places left where humans can interact, and it's getting less and less.
Reddit will block the Internet Archive. The company says that AI companies have scraped data from the Wayback Machine, so it's going to limit what the Wayback Machine can access.
Don't forget that Reddit made a deal with, which company was it? Was it OpenAI?
I think so.
Yeah. And also Google.
That was probably the terms of their agreement, was like, make sure nobody else can scrape it because we want to scrape it.
It's still wild to me that it looks to me like what happened with Google and Reddit was Google got caught in a situation where they literally could not detect AI slop content for their search results. And the fix for that was to just rely on Reddit for everything. So
But Reddit's becoming full of bots and AI generated content too. So it's like I just want to see what other cool things humans are doing.
The Ouroboros of modern suffering.
Yeah.
Yes.
And those of you that are addicted to social media probably had a bit of a crisis this past Thursday.
X briefly goes down again. Thousands of users report problems with the site and the app. And that's because, it's made out of baling wire and duct tape.
They claim it was a cyber attack.
They got to they do that every time. They got to put all their resources into Grok right now. They can't be looking at their little social media site.
And are we considered verboten to the children? I don't know. I think we might get flagged for
Yeah, I
that
think we
because
would.
many of the topics that come up in these stories. Let us know if you've seen this.
Variety's headline is YouTube has launched its AI age verification in the U.S. and will automatically restrict users estimated to be under 18.
Now, right now, this is a small subset of users. They're just testing it, as Google usually does. But you better believe this is coming for everybody.
I remember when they tried to like make everybody use a real name for comments and stuff on YouTube. I wonder if it'll have the same backlash.
Yeah.
Because they did walk it back eventually, where they're like, you don't have to have a Google account tied to it.
Well, remember Google had their own social network, Google Plus, and they said that we really think that the level of participation from people is higher and better when they're forced to use their real names to participate. There's much less trolling and negative behavior, which is probably not untrue.
They were just doing it because they wanted to put people on their social network at the time, though.
Well, but and a lot of it was forced. But I think a lot of what they said around the Google Plus thing and like human tendency to make things awful was probably not incorrect. And it's interesting that, a decade later that it's basically coming to pass exactly the way that Google predicted. Forcefully, by law. It's like, no, we must have your ID.
And
I don't like
we must know everything about you. And we must let everybody else know everything about you, because privacy in the age of social media, not allowed.
Instagram has debuted a new Maps feature that shows your location to others, and internet users are furious.
Snapchat does this too, and I never understood the appeal.
It's like, oh, this is nearby me.
Yeah.
It's like,
why would you ever want randos to be able to see where you are?
You can turn it off for now.
Y'all need to stay anointed. You guys clearly aren't being paranoid enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I found a gold bar. Okay, that's someone's trolling you.
Anyway, that's it for this episode. We will be back on Friday with AI and nonsense stories for the end of your week. Bye!